Welcome to Epi Studios. You are knitting with me, the Raglan Sweater, and this is episode 4. And you have finished your short rows, you resolved your short rows, and now you have started working your raglan increases. And now we see how far you are. Thank you for watching, and stay and watch the full video. Give me a like and let's start. Welcome to Epi Studios. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching our videos. Last video was episode 3. Today we are episode 4, and this is how we left our last tutorial. You finish your raglan short rows on your raglan sweater, and you resolve them, and you continue on knitting your raglan side, each side for your shoulders, and you completed increasing on each raglan side. So the last time you were supposed to knit up to 23 or 25 more rows, and you were supposed to try on your raglan sweater. So this is how your raglan sweater looks like right now. If you see the picture on our corner, upper side corner here. And that is the way that you're supposed to measure your raglan, and make sure that it fits you comfortable right under your armpit, okay? Make sure if you want it a little bit more baggy, more loose, then you continue on knitting more rows. And if you're gonna continue on, you still have to make one left on each side of your raglan. Okay, so this is how mine is looking. So you were also supposed to change your cable to a bigger cable, which is this, obviously a bigger one. I changed it to a 32-inch, and now this is how my sweater is looking. So I'm gonna put the sample on the side, and my sweater is looking like this. Pretty big compared to our starter sweater. And here's where we left off, where I left off mine. So mine, here's where last time that we saw, I finished there, and then I told you to increase to finish 23 or 25 more rows. So we started here last week, and then now 23 rows gives me up to here. So I tried my raglan, and I noticed that it wasn't long enough to knit my underarm. Okay, so I knit about 12 more rows, 15 more rows, and then I tried it on. And that's the picture that you're seeing on the screens, that this fits me loose under my armpit, because this sweater is not supposed to be a tight sweater. It's supposed to be a more relaxed fit. If you want to wear a little spaghetti strap shirt under it, you can, or another linen shirt under it, you can in the wintertime. So this is what mine looks like. So mine is ready to be separated for the sleeves and for the body. So that's what we're going to do today. Today I'm going to show you how to separate for your sleeves and for your body. And your homework will be for you to start knitting in the round your body. And then next week we're going to do the sleeve. Okay, so today, for today's tools, you're going to need type of cord like this to make it easy to separate your sleeves. This cord you can find it at a Hobby Lobby, a Michael's, or you can find it at your yarn store too. And it usually comes in a little tin can like this. And this is the one that I purchased. Okay, so I suggest that you buy at Hobby Lobby or another store, because it's a lot less expensive. So I have a piece that is long enough for my arms, and you gotta have 2 pieces. So I have another piece right here. And if you want to, I start on my body first. Okay, and then I do my sleeves at the end, but it's up to you if you want to start on your sleeve first. So here's my big core. If you want to separate your body, you want to put it on a core, you use one that is long enough. Okay, so those are the tools that we need today for today's tutorial. And let me find out where my sleeve, where did I finish knitting to make sure that I am at the end of my row so I can start separating. So you gotta be at the end of your row, which is here, okay? Make sure that you complete the last row that you're knitting and you are completely done with that one row, and then we're going to separate, okay? So let me go ahead and finish that, get set up, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, before I show you how to divide for your arms, I want to show you something. When you're working with a long cable on your needles, in order to make this easy, a lot of people like having a lot of fabric here, a lot of stitches like this, ready for you to keep knitting without stopping. So in order for you to do that, when you're working with a big piece of fabric like what we have created here for our sweater, what you do is you pull on the right side, you pull your cable, pull it, pull a good amount. That way you have plenty of fabric working on the other side so you can keep on working. So if you see, I have my cable on my right side in a loop that I have pulled, and then I have a lot of my working sweater on the other side, and it's very easy for you just to keep on your needle, on your left needle, you can keep a lot of the stitches on your left needle to keep on knitting your row. This is the way that I work it, and it makes it very easy for me to keep on knitting as fast as possible. Even though lately I'm not fast because I've been suffering from a lot of pain on my right shoulder, so I actually have taken a break from knitting and crocheting because I want my pain to go away a little bit more. Okay, so we are here. Now, the fattest part of my arm measures 12 inches. So if you see right here, this is, I'm gonna pull the cable so make sure that my stitches don't come out. This is the part of your shoulder, okay? I knitted about 15 more rows from here to here. From the last lesson, we ended up here. So I knitted 23 plus 15 more to give me enough fabric to meet the size around right under your armpit. That's where you want this part to end. These two parts, when they come together like this, and this is exactly at your armpit length, okay? If you go a lot farther than that, then you're going to end up with a lot of space under your armpit, and it might be too much, and then it's going to be uncomfortable when you put a coat on. But if you want extremely baggy, then you can continue working in the round, making more rows until you get to the size that you want. Okay, my arm, in the fattest part of my upper arm, it measures 12 inches. So look, all the work that I did, all the rows that I did, look, it measures 13, 14 inches. That's perfect for me because I know it's going to be a little bit loose. Plus, when you block your fabric, it's going to get a little bit more loose. So I have plenty of space. It's not going to be tight to my body. It's going to loosen up a little bit more. So that's what I want to stop and start now dividing for the arms. You want to do the same thing also. You want to measure in your fattest part of your arm, upper arm, and make sure that you measure your sweater, the fabric that we just created, okay? If you create sweaters by measurement, they will fit you a lot better than if you do it just by measuring one of your shirts. So it's up to you. This is the technique that I use, and this is what works very well for me. And I'm just passing it on to you. Okay, so now we're going to divide for the arms. So this part from here to here, we're going to put it on this type of cord. If you don't have this type of cord, don't worry about it. Find any cord, any pieces of yarn that you have, and put it on a sewing needle, on a tapestry needle, and pass it through the arms stitches, okay? For me, because I have this, I'm going to go ahead and get it done with this. And all we do, we want to remember how we had 8 stitches for the raglan. So we're going to put right before the fourth stitch. All the stitches are going to go to the front. So the arm stitches are going to be just these ones, okay? So I have to put those 4 stitches that I still have, I have to pass them to the other needle, okay? Because those stitches do not belong to the arm. They will sit, and these ones in the back of your arm, in your back, and the other ones will be on your front. So let me get some more cable here. Okay, this is very simple. And I'm going to pass them. No, I have knitted them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unknit them to keep them on the other side of my needle. So you see, I'm just passing them and unknitting them. 4, 3, and then 4. There we go. Okay, now I have just the stitches where you did your increase, and those are the stitches. I still want my marker there just for now, okay? And then I'm going to remove it because I'm not going to need it anymore. For the raglan part, I'm just going to need it for the beginning and end of the work. So there it is. So I have my stitches here, and that's an increase. So we're going to resolve that increase when we start our sweater, our sleeve. So all you do for this has like a little hole. All you do is put it in the tip of your needle and press it. Make sure that it goes in there a good, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. And all you want to do is pass your stitches from your needle, and do it slowly if you're not used to this. Do it slowly and kind of push your stitches up so they slowly slide right onto the cable. You don't want to rush this, and you don't want to use a lot of pressure or be in a rush, and you want to hold it here when you pull them away from the needle, okay? Because if this comes undone from the tip of your needle, you don't want to lose them too far. But don't be afraid to lose them either. We don't want to do things in fear. It's just a stitch. We can resolve a stitch or two, okay? Do not be afraid. I think when you lose of being afraid in any hobby that you have, you can resolve things much faster because you are not afraid of the mistake, and you are not afraid of fixing it and starting again. So please don't be afraid. So we're getting close to the increased part, on the other side. So let me show you what it looks like. See, we have the cable already passed from this side to this side. So we're approaching the other side, and we are going to make sure that we only take up to, that we leave this 8 stitches for the other side, okay? Okay, we got a couple more stitches to go. And this works really fast, okay? This is taking me a little bit longer because I'm explaining it to you. Okay, 2, 4. I gotta make sure that I don't put, so only 3 more stitches to go on my green cable, because we don't want the rest to go. Okay, and there we are. Now all you have to do is push it out. I give me enough space. It might be a little bit tight, but not a problem. 2, 4. I want to make sure that I have there. Now I pull it, and because I have enough there, I have plenty here and plenty here. So good, you have plenty. And what I do is, all I do is I make a knot or 2, and just to keep it in place. And I'm gonna try it on for you, so that's why I left enough space. Okay, so now we have this work on our needles. Okay, we have separated one sleeve. We got plenty of space. In order to separate the other one, you do not want to take all the stitches off your needles. No. What we're going to do is we're going to increase for this size. This is the large size that I'm making. We started teaching you how to make this sweater on the small size. Remember, we are learning that technique of how to make a raglan sweater. So for here, what you're going to do is you're going to knit all the way to where our other sleeve is, and we're going to put the sleeve stitches on another piece of core. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to knit, and you can do it with the same needle for now, okay, until we separate to the other side. So all you're going to do is you're going to continue knitting and you have to cut the yarn, okay? But in this case, I'm not going to. I'm going to use the same yarn. And then I'm going to cut it when we separate the other arm. So you see my yarn ended up here. In your case, because I don't know where you're going to stop for your size, if your yarn was on the other side, that's fine, just cut it. In my case, I'm just going to use the same yarn, and I'm going to cut it when I get to my other side, okay? So here we go. You're going to keep going, and this is going to be now the beginning of your row for the body. Okay, so I'm just going to put my beginning of marker here on this stitch, just for you to keep your count of your rows. Okay, I'm going by measurement, so when I get to my measurement, that's where I'm going to stop knitting. Okay, and we are done making increases. So when we got to this part is where we were making increases. We are no longer making increases. We are just knitting as it comes. So continue on until you get to knitting until you get to here, to the other sleeve, and then I will meet you here, knit all the way to here, I will meet you here, and then we'll separate for that sleeve. Okay, I'm getting close to my sleeve, which is on this side. This is my back. So let's continue on knitting until we pass that marker. And remember that mine, I have a little design going on the raglan area. That's why mine looks different than yours. Okay, so we have 2 more stitches. For this, this will belong to the back of the sweater, okay? Gotta make sure that you do that. Okay, we are there. Okay, you see the 8 stitches where you were working, doing the increase on one side and the other. These 8 stitches belong to the back of the sweater. And we did the same on the other side, okay? And then the other side of the sweater, the other raglan part, will belong to the front of the sweater, okay? So this is the other sleeve, and I thought about showing you how to do it with yarn, so let's do that. So I threaded my tapestry needle, and all I'm going to do is pass my stitches from the knitting needle to my tapestry needle. All the stitches, doesn't matter how you grab them, tell you the truth, because you're going to make sure that you knit them correctly once you start knitting for the sleeve. Okay, but just grab them exactly as they are and put all these stitches on this yarn, this waste yarn that I had left from a previous project. I will show you that project. It turned out very beautiful. It's a cowl, and it's done in the crochet technique. It turned out very beautiful. I'll show it to you. So go ahead and do that until you get to 4 stitches before your marker, okay? And you're going to right to there. Okay, see how I left these 4 stitches plus the other 4 for the other side. That's going to be facing the front. So you have all your stitches now on your spare yarn or waste yarn, and all you're going to do is you're going to remove your needle, your tapestry needle, give it enough space for both sides. I have a pretty big one, so. And then all I do is make a knot that I can undo later. So I do like a little bow. And it's secure enough. I have plenty of yarn on each side. And there's my sleeve on a piece of waste yarn, and it's ready. So now our sweater looks like this. Because it's big, I can't get in the full camera. So here is our first sleeve. We did it on the core, and now we have on waste yarn. We have it right here, and we have our other sleeve, okay? This is the front of my sweater. I have the marker here. And this line that you see here is gonna be facing the front, and this one too is gonna be facing the front. It's not part of your sleeve. And then if we turn it over to the back, you are going to have this to the back, I did a little design on mine. Don't look at that, because what we're learning is how to make a raglan sweater, the technique, and you are doing excellent. You're doing very well. You are going to be able to finish the sweater in no time. This will be done in a week or two, depending on how fast or slow you are. You'll have it ready for Christmas, and you'll know how to do more sweaters. Okay, so now we have to split for the back. We have to, we're done splitting the back and the front. Now, you are going to keep on knitting your body in the round. Okay, so this is going to be your homework to knit. This is my yarn, my working yarn, and all you're going to do to give space for your armpit, you're going to add 13 stitches for this size, for the size large. For the size extra large, you might want to add 15 stitches. For the size small, you only add 9 stitches, okay? But this depends on how baggy you want this. If you want it baggy and more space in your armpit area, you add more stitches to have more space. So that's up to what you prefer for the sweater to look like. Okay, for me, 13 up to 14 will be excellent. Okay, because it will stretch a little bit more. So what are we doing in order to keep knitting in the round? We have to add those 13 stitches to your needle. So let me pull the cable on this side. Okay, so I have more, I want my needle to go in more. Okay, and this is how I add stitches. There's many ways of adding stitches. This is just my way, okay? All I do, you can do this and do this and do it that way. That's, to me, a waste of time, just for time purposes. So all you do that. You make a letter E and you put it on your sweater. It's gonna get loose here, so watch your tension. But once you start knitting, it's going to start being tighter. Or you can also do one and put it on your stitch, make it tight. Then the other one, what I do is I turn it twice before I put it on the needle. This keeps the stitch from getting too loose on the bottom. So I do one regular, one letter E, and I put it on my needle and I tie it. And then the second letter E that I make, I turn it one more time, put it on my needle, and I make it tight. And I continue on doing this until I have 13 stitches, however many you are going to add to the bottom of your armpit. Okay, this is not complicated. This is just, you have to think a little bit of what exactly the design that you're creating, that you're doing. And by the way, this is my own design, so I can do whatever I want. I can, if I mess it up, it's quite all right. And I'm not afraid of messing it up. As I mess things up, I learn from them. So let me count to see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. Okay, I'm gonna do 14. And that should be quite right. Okay, I have 14 in my yarn. Is on this side, so this is excellent. It worked out perfect. If it didn't work out that way, then that means that I have to cut the yarn and bring it to the other side. That's all that it means. No issues here. Okay. And then I now continue working in the round. Exactly for this row, just for this row, exactly how the stitches are. Just for this round. I remove my marker and just as the stitches are. Okay. Until we have both arms on the needles. Okay, so continue on working until you get to the next sleeve, and I will meet you there. Just keep knitting until you get here, and we're going to add 14 more stitches on this side. Okay, one tip that I'm going to give you for those of you, even though this sweater is going to be pretty loose, you're gonna have plenty of space if you have a larger bust. But if your bust is extremely large, you might want to add some more stitches before we keep going. If you want to increase some more stitches on each side of the sweater, okay? You can also increase some in before we separate. You could have done a couple more stitches, just increases on this side, on each side, for the sweater, just to have more space on the front, okay? But that depends on the bust measurement that you have. This is going to give us, this large size is giving us a bust measurement of 46 or 47, if I'm not sure. I'll put it in the comments for the size large of what is our bust measurement that this gives us, plus the extra ease that is going to give us, okay? So I'll go ahead and leave those comments in the comments, that the measurements. So you need to think about when you measure yourself, make sure that you have your right measurements for the biggest part of your bust, okay? The same with the biggest part of your arm. Okay, let's continue. We're almost there. So I will meet you here. Okay, we are on this side. I'm gonna remove my marker and I'm going to finish the last 4 stitches exactly like they are. Okay, you see I ran out of stitches. My sleeve is on the core and I need to make this two come together. Bring my needle forward. So these two need to be come together so your sleeve looks like this. So I'm going to add, to cast on 14 stitches, just like on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, and all I'm doing is twisting my letter E twice, and then I'm making it tight. Okay, if you have a preferred form of how to add stitches, cast on stitches, you can go ahead and also do that. This is just my easy way of doing it. I like easy ways of doing things that can help you with good results. And I just help myself with the needle. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And just double check. Okay, 14. Perfect. Now I have a lot of space. I need to pull the cable. So I can have the needles together. And I have a lot of fabric on my left side of the needle. And if this gets on the way, just tuck it inside the other way, okay? Or you can also put a little pin holding it to your fabric so it gets out of your way. Okay. And all you're going to do, here's your beginning of row. Okay, and your end of row. You want to make sure that you keep it. Okay, you're just going to knit as the stitches are. And then I will show you, we're going to give under the armpit. I will show you how to do that, okay? Okay, and here we are. We have attached, we have casted on stitches, 14 stitches for under the armpit. Here's our sleeve. And let me show you what it looks like. See if I can make the camera take more. Okay. I have a big cable so I can stretch my stitches for all the cable space that I have without damaging. Try not to pull your stitches that you casted on too much. You don't want them to stretch so much to the point that they will be too stretchy. So this is the back of my garment. Remember, mine looks different than yours because I'm making this for somebody else. This is the front of my garment. Here are my sleeves with already 13 increases of stitches under your armpit. So we are ready to keep on growing our sweater, going down, because this is top down raglan sweater. Keep working on your body, and this is what your body looks like. Mine is measuring pretty big. So let's see what I have. So just for the body, and this is just the front, and without stretching it, I'm just laying it down. I have 22 inches. So just for the front. So once I go all around, so it's going to be a pretty generous sweater. I will go ahead right now and go try it on so you can see what it looks like with the, oh my gosh, with the arms already separated, okay? So let me go ahead and try it on and I'll be right back. Hello, my friends. I already tried. The sweater is pretty baggy from my armpit, so it's pretty loose. I have plenty of space and I am ready to keep working in the round, going down. So you're going to be working on the round for as far as you want it, as long as you want it. And then we're going to work on the ribbing. So let me show you the ribbing. Here's our ribbon. Thank you for watching. I will see you in episode 5. This is episode 4. This is twisted rib. Thank you.